레위기 8장, Leviticus chapter 8. The Lord said to Moses, bring the Aaron and his sons the garments, the anointing oil, the bull for the sin offering, the 2 rams, and the basket containing bread made without yeast, and gather the entire assembly at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the assembly gathers at entrance to the tent of meeting. Moses said to the assembly, this is what the Lord has commanded to them. Then Moses brought Aaron and the sons forward and washed them with waters. He put tunics on Aaron and the sash around him, clothes him with a robe, and put the ephod on him. He also tied the ephod on him by the skillfully woven waistband, so it was fastened on him. He placed the breastpiece on him. They put the Urim and the Thummim in the breastpiece. Then they placed the turbans on the Aaron's head and set the gold plate, the sacred diadem, on the front of it as the Lord commanded Moses. Then Moses took the anointing oils, anointed the tabernacle and everything in it, and consecrated them. He sprinkled some of the oils and the altars 7 times, anointing the altars and all the utensils, the basins with each stand. To consecrate them, he poured some of the anointings on the Aaron's head and anointed him to consecrate him. Then his brothers, Aaron's sons, forward put the tunic on them, tied sashes around them, and the headbands on them as the Lord commanded Moses. Then he presented the bulls for the sins offerings, and Aaron's and sons laid their hands on their head. Moses slaughtered the bulls and took some of the blood, and with the fingers he put it on the horns of the altars to purify the altars. He poured out the rest of the blood and the bases of the altar. And so he consecrated to make atonement for it. Moses took all the fat around the inner part, the covering of the livers and both kidney and their fat, and burnt on it the altars, but the bulls with the side and the flesh, and its offal he burned up outside the camp as the Lord commanded Moses. Then he presented the ram for the burnt offerings, and Aaron's and his sons laid their hands on the head. Then Moses slaughtered the ram and sprinkled the blood against the altars and all sides. He cut the rams into the pieces and burned the head and the pieces and the fat. He washed the inner part and the legs with the water and burnt the whole ram on the altars as the burnt offering, pleasing aroma on offering made to the Lord by fire, as the Lord commanded Moses. He then presented the other rams, the ram for the ordinations, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head. Moses slaughtered the ram and took some of the blood and put it on the lobe of Aaron's right ear, on the thumbs of his right hand, and on the big toes of his right foot. Moses also brought Aaron's sons forward and put some of the blood of the robes of the right ears, on the thumb of the right hands, and the big toes on the right feet. Then he sprinkled the blood against the altars on the all sides. He took the fat and the fat oil, all the fat around the inner part, the covering of the livers, both kidneys and their fat, and the right thigh. Then from the basket of the bread is made without yeast, which was before the Lord. He took the cake of bread and the one made with the oils and the wafers. He put these on the fat portions on the right thigh. He put all these in the hands of Aaron and the son, and waved them before the Lord as wave offering. Then Moses took them from the hands and burnt them on the altars on top of the burnt offering as the ordination offering, a pleasing aroma, an offering made to the Lord by fire. He also took the breasts Moses shares out of the ordination ram and waved it before the Lord as wave offerings as the Lord's commanded Moses. Then Moses took some of the anointing oils and some of the blood from the altars and sprinkled them on Aaron and his garments and on his sons and their garments as he consecrated Aaron's and his garment and his sons and his garments. Moses then said to the Aaron's and his sons, cooked the meat at the entrance to the tents of meeting, and in it there were the bread from the basket of ordinations offerings as I commanded, saying, Aaron's and his son are to be eaten. Then the burnt up the rest of the meat and the bread. Do not leave the entrance of the tent of meetings for 7 days until the days of your ordinations are completed, for your ordinations will last 7 days. What has been done today was commanded by the Lord to make atonement for you. You must stay at the entrance to the tent of meetings day and night for 7 days and do what the Lord requires. So you will not die, for that is what I have been commanded. So Aaron and his sons did everything the Lord commanded through the Moses.